In this video, we're going to be talking about the order of operations. Two of the essential questions for this unit are, what is the order of operations and why do we use the order of operations? By the end of this video, you should be able to answer both of these questions. Here's a copy of the learning progression for this unit. By the end of this unit, we expect you to be at the proficiency level if you're starting below the proficiency level. Hopefully, if you're already at the proficiency level, by the end of the unit, you'll be at the advanced proficient level. By the end of this unit, we want you to be able to simplify expressions with more than two operations using the order of operations and to be able to explain each step. So let's go ahead and start with this problem here in the box. The problem reads 5 plus 3 times 7. Go ahead and see if you can solve and get an answer for that. All right, after you've solved that, let's see if I can figure out one of the answers that you may have gotten. A lot of people, when they do this problem, get an answer of 56 because they take the 5 and the 3, they add them together and get 8, and then they multiply that times 7, which equals 56. Some other people, when they do this problem, come up with an answer of 26. So let me ask, which one do you think is correct? What if I were to tell you that the answer 26 is indeed the correct answer? How is that possible, you ask? Well, let's find out more about the order of operations. When we use the order of operations, we like to think of the saying, "Please excuse my dear Aunt Sally." And on here, we've listed the first letter of each of those words. Please excuse my dear Aunt Sally. Here's my crazy Aunt Sally now. Please excuse my dear Aunt Sally. Now you're probably thinking, Mrs. Whippick has lost it again. Once again, she's going off on some tangent and being insane. Well, you actually are wrong in this instance because this "please excuse my dear Aunt Sally" helps you to remember a very important process or order of steps in which you need to use in order to solve equations. Using this mnemonic device, we change the P for please into parentheses, the E or excuse into exponents, the M for my into multiplication, the D for dear into division, the A for aunt into, guessed it, addition, and finally the S for Sally into subtraction. So once again, the mnemonic was please excuse my dear Aunt Sally. So please excuse my dear Aunt Sally. And what those first letters of the mnemonic stand for are parentheses. And when we talk about parentheses, what we mean are brackets that look like this. They could look like this. They could look like this. So it can be any of those types of brackets. The E, excuse, also stands for exponents. Okay, and exponents, if you don't know, are those little numbers that you sometimes see up here in the corner of another number. And they can be like a 2, they could be like a little 3, they could be any number. This little number here is the exponent, okay? And actually in 5th grade we don't get to exponents, but it's just something to know for the future. After we've done parentheses and exponents, the M here for multiplication was originally my, now we talk about multiplication, D for dear and division, aunt, A, addition, and subtraction for the S. One of the most important things to remember though with this mnemonic is that you always write out the PEMDAS on the side of your paper when you are solving a problem. And the PEMDAS here does not actually go first the P, then the E, then the M, then the D, then the A, then the S. It actually goes first you do the parentheses, which is the P here. And once again, those are these things. Then we do the exponents, which are these little numbers up here. Then you do multiplication or division from left to right. So for example, if I had a problem that was like this, just because the M is listed first doesn't mean that we do this problem first. We go from left to right for multiplication and division. So we start here, and since we have a division problem first, we have to do that because it's multiplication or division from left to right. So we say 9 divided by 3 is 3, and then 3 times 2 is 6. Okay. Now, once again, addition and subtraction are the same as multiplication and division, meaning you go from left to right. So if a subtraction problem were to come up first, before an addition problem, you would still want to do that first. So we'd go addition, subtraction, left to right, multiplication, division from left to right. So let's go over that again. First, we start with parentheses, then exponents, multiplication, division from left to right, and addition, subtraction from left to right. So using this order of operations, we can see now that since we have a multiplication problem here and an addition problem, we have to use our order of operations. So what I highly recommend is when you're doing these, that you take your paper and you write PEMDAS down the side, and then you cross off each as you do it. So do we have any parentheses in this problem? No, we don't. So let's go ahead and cross that one off. Do we have any exponents, which remember are those little numbers up in the corner? Nope, no exponents in our problem. Now, do we have any multiplication or division? Let's see. Oh, I see a multiplication sign, so we do. So now we do this problem first. So we do 3 times 7 is 21. Now that we've done this part of the problem, we copy down the rest of it. So we now have 5 plus 21. We go back to our PEMDAS on the side here and see, do we have any more multiplication or division that we have to do in our new problem? Nope, it's just addition. So we can go ahead and cross out the multiplication and division. And now we need to do our addition and subtraction from left to right. The only thing we have left in this actual problem is an addition sign, so we're going to do that addition. So 5 plus 21 is 26. Let's do a slightly more challenging problem. So once again, when we're doing these problems, we always want to write PEMDAS down the side. And I like to write it like this, with the P, then the E, then the M and D together, and then the A and S together to remind me to go from left to right for both of these, okay? So first, let's see, do we have any parentheses here? Okay, let's look. I'm going to scan my problem. Ooh, there's parentheses right there, so we need to do that part of the problem first. So I'm going to box off that part of the problem, draw my little caret, and try to figure out, what's 6 times 7? 6 times 7 I know equals 42. So I'm going to head and put that down, go ahead and put that down, and then I'm going to copy the entire rest of the problem that I haven't done yet. So on this side it says minus 8 minus 2. I just basically was copying this stuff over here. And now on the other side of the problem we still have a plus sign, 3 times 1 minus, okay. So this is our new problem. Now, we've done parentheses. Do we have any more parentheses in our problem? Nope, so we'll cross that one off. Do we have any exponents in our problem? Nope, no exponents. Okay, so now we have multiplication and division from left to right. So let's start at the left. And I like to do a little noise when I do this, just like a little ding. So do we have any? There's a subtraction. Beep, 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 beep. Ding, 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 ding. We found a multiplication problem, so let's go ahead and do that. So we have 1 times 3 is, sorry, my pen's not working, is 3. So we box that off, we cross it out because we just solved it, and copy down the rest of the problem. Okay, so now let's go through multiplication division again and see if there are any more. So let's see. Beep, 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 beep. Nope, only addition and subtraction. All right, so now we're going to cross off our multiplication division here because we've already finished that. So now we need to do our addition and subtraction from left to right. So let's go ahead and look for that. Okay, so here is my first operation listed, and that is a subtraction. Now I'm going to do this because I know I go from left to right with addition and subtraction. They're both equal to each other in importance. So I say 8 minus 3 is 5. My pen really isn't working. Plus 42 minus 8 minus 2. Then I go back to the beginning and I keep going. 47 minus 8 minus 2. I'm going to bring this problem over here. 47 minus 8 minus 2 is what I just had, right? So 47 minus 8 is 39. And then we copy the rest down. And 39 minus 2 is 37. So there's my final answer, 37. Okay, so here's our next problem. It's pretty long and scary, right? Well, using the order of operations, we can really simplify it so that it's not as scary as it looks. So the first thing that we need to do is write our PEMDAS off to the side, which I already have here. And we're going to look and see if we have any of this first letter here, which stands for parentheses. So we look at our problem, and we notice that indeed we do have something in parentheses. So I'm going to box that off. And then I'm going to, within these parentheses, follow the order of operations because we have different operation symbols. Whenever you're inside of parentheses, you follow the order of operations for the problems inside there as well. So within these parentheses, we have 15 minus 3 times 3. So I look over here at my PEMDAS and I see, okay, inside the parentheses, I don't have another set of parentheses. I don't have any exponents, but I do have multiplication or division. So what I'm going to do first is I'm going to box off this little bit right here and then find the answer for that and then copy down the rest of this problem from here. So then I have 15 minus 9 is 6. So I've just taken care of this entire part here. So now my next step is to copy down the rest of this problem that we have up here to go with the 6 down here. So since I said that this amount inside of here equals 6, inside those parentheses, I'm going to copy the rest down and fill in 6 instead of that long problem that was inside the parentheses before. Now, whenever we see parentheses right next to a number, we know that the parentheses right here, right next to that number, without an operation symbol next to it, means that it's multiplication. So we're going to go ahead and I'm going to change that the parentheses to a times sign so that I don't get confused. Okay, so our new problem is 9 divided by 3 times 6 minus 2 plus 10. Okay, so we don't have any more parentheses. We don't have any exponents. Let's go from left to right for multiplication and division. So we start at the left and we move to the right. Oh, we already found a multiplication or division sign. So 9 divided by 3 is 3. And then, since we've done this, we can cross it out and copy the rest of the problem down. And then once again, we start on the left side and we look for any more multiplication or division. And there it is. Here's another one. So we're going to box this off. Say that 3 times 6 is 18. We've just done this and we copy the rest down. Okay, so once again, start at the left just like if you're reading a book. Do we have any more multiplication or division? Not in this problem. So we can go ahead and cross off the M and the D because we found all of the multiplication and division. So our next step is to find addition or subtraction from left to right. So let's look. 18, minus, there's our first one. So even though this S comes after the A in the PEMDAS, you still would do it in order from left to right. So 18 minus 2 is 16. Okay, cross that off and bring down the rest of the problem. Now we have only one problem left, 16 plus 10. So we know our answer to this problem is 26. It started out pretty scary, but it really wasn't too difficult to work through. So let's just review quickly. When we do the order of operations, it's a way that we can solve problems to make sure that we get the right answer. And it tells us the steps that we need to take in order to get those problems correct. So first we would start with our parentheses, which is our P. Then we do any exponents. So the parentheses were these things and the exponents are these little numbers in the corner. Then we would do our multiplication or division from left to right, and our addition and subtraction from left to right. And what we would do is we would write this on our paper every time we do a problem, and then we'd cross it out as we go. So in the first instance, we had a problem that looked similar to this. 8 plus 3 times 4. And we know now that we just go through the order of operations to make sure we get the correct answer. So in this case, we would say, nope, no parentheses and no exponents. Multiplication, division from left to right. Let's see here. Well, there's multiplication or division from left to right. So we would box this off, cross it out, and then put the answer to that right here, and then copy down the rest of the problem. So now we're just left with one, which is 8 plus 12 equals 20. I hope that you understand this a little bit more now that I've made this video. If you have any more questions, please don't hesitate to ask me in class. Thanks.